It was a bad day in the kingdom. The old man, everybody's favorite bookie, had been unnecessarily gunned down with a machine gun. Worst yet, his safe had been broken into. The diamonds and the gold were gone. Thusly, Vincent and Kerr were sent to find out where the diamonds and gold were, perhaps to find out why the old man was killed, and if they were so inclined, to extract a measure of revenge for the old man. He was, after all, everyone's favorite bookie. Hello, everybody. It's Barbara, and welcome to my review of Gangsters Kingdom Hearts figure set 4, Vincent and Kerr. And they are, of course, representing Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield from the very classic Tarantino film Pulp Fiction. Now, why they decided to call Jules Winfield Kerr, I don't know, but that's the first of many I don't knows that we're going to get. Now, of course, I'm going to go in depth into reviewing each figure, but the one thing I wanted to point out pretty quickly was that the figures are not meant to look like John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson exactly because, well, 1, they'd have to pay them. 2, nobody can afford Nick Fury money anymore. 3, if you collect and you follow the Gangsters Kingdom collection, when you look at the way the figures are stylized, and I think that's the right word to use, stylized, the figures have a very building block style to them. So they're very cartoonish, and they're very, when you look at them, it's almost disorienting, sorry guys, to see them this way. And I will immediately show you with what I mean by starting off with Mr. Travolta, aka Vincent. Bring him in a little bit closer. You definitely know this is Vincent. I mean, you know this is Travolta. There's no, I mean, the Travolta nose is right there, the chin, the hair. The eye color, which is like a very dark brown, that's all correct. The detailing from the movie is all correct. But if you notice, there are very, very sharp lines around his eyes. You would almost think this was a mold mistake, like the mold had a chip in it. There's also a very deep dent at his chin. And just to show you what I really mean about the block style, take a look at this hand. Now, by the way, yes, you do have the correct tattoo on the hand. But if you notice how everything is very squared, the knuckles are very squared, the fingernails are very squared. It's just a very block look to it, very, very cartoonish. So it's meant to give you that stylized anime look, which, by the way, is not at all inappropriate to a Tarantino film, since he draws a lot of inspiration from anime. So just to go with the rest of the look, if you can notice, I'll turn them around. The hair is plastic. It is not hair. It's molded hair. But what's nice is there's some detailing to it in that you do have the slightest hint with the brush strokes of some graying or grease. There's a lot of brush strokes and texture to the hair, so you get that sense of individual strands of hair. While we're back here, the suit material is really weird. It feels like a parachute. It does not feel like any suiting I've ever seen. It is lined, which is one nice detail. It's lined, but the suiting is just really, really weird. Even Delilah agrees she's trying to escape now. So as I was saying, the suiting and the shirt, by the way, are the same material, which again is very strange. The suit will close with real buttons. The jacket does not close at all. All the pockets are fake. The tie is very interesting. Depending on how the light catches it, you can see it a little bit here. You can pick up, like, depending on how the light catches it, it gives off this almost blue tone to it, but when you see it straight on, it's an olive green and black and gold. So it does have this really nice shimmer effect. I guess this is a good place for me to tell you that I've noticed this a lot with action figures. Some companies, in this case, it's DamToys. Yes, really, that's their name, DamToys. Some companies will do really well with certain parts of suiting on a 1/6 scale male figure, and then other parts you're like, WTF. Case in point, the tie and the shimmering effect, and yet they went weird with the style of the suit. It does have a real belt with a real belt buckle. The pants are the same material as the jacket. They are not lined. He does have socks though, which is not always the case. Underneath the belt is our old friend Mr. Velcro. So, not the world's most spectacular suit. And certainly, you know, I've seen other Vincents that the suiting was a lot better. He does come with a lot of accessories, but just again, very quickly to show you, they both come with watches. This is the one I chose to put on Vincent. So that's him. The shoes are not anything really to talk about. I mean, they're loafers with a fake gold chain around them. And he does also come with the chain. I just didn't put it on him to do this review. Now, it's time to find out if we've got snakes on this MFing plane. So again, not anyone can afford Samuel L. Jackson's face sculpt, I think now, except for Hot Toys. And the hair is off and everything else is off, so you could not, the average collector is not going to be able to turn this into a Nick Fury or a Shaft if they wanted to. This is definitely a very stylized version of Jules from Pulp Fiction. And if you notice again, same thing. His tattoo. And I'll show you on his left side, the very blocked style of hand. I have no idea if that's the case with the feet. I have absolutely no desire to try to take the shoes off at this juncture. He does come with a watch, which I've again put on his right hand because why not? There's his watch. There really isn't too much to the watch. It has hands. They're both the same kind. One is silver with gold tone. The other is gold with silver tone. His suit is pretty much the same pattern as Vincent's. Vincent's suit, the lining goes straight down. I'm sorry, the striping goes straight down. These stripes are a little bit thinner and go vertical. His jacket is lined. His shirt is actually not silk or parachute or whatever you want to call it. It is a much more traditional cotton shirt that does really button close. His tie is just a straight gold and black diamond pattern tie. Black pants with the real belt buckle that works. Your standard loafers. No socks, but the ankle cheats that make it look like he's got socks. The Oxfords are two-toned with the brown here. So it's it's a nice figure. It's a hard figure though if you're a customizer, because and you'll see this in a second when I go through the accessories. Both pairs of hands are going to have that same stylized block to it. So it's very, very hard to use them as anybody else. I mean, you certainly could not turn this. Maybe you could turn this Travolta into the character he was with the movie he did with Nick Cage, Face Off. But you really couldn't use him in anything else. Certainly not in like a Grease or a Saturday Night Fever situation. So if you got these figures, which by the way, I'm going to recommend getting this set, but for probably the absolutely wrong reasons. And I'm going to say more about that in a second. But if you do get them, it's not for the face sculpts and it's not for the body. Just also very quickly, I do want to also point out one more thing before I forget, because I'm noticing it now. Remember I talked about with Vincent the very defined lines? You see them again here on Jules/Kerr. Very defined. And again, you would look at this and think there was something wrong with the mold. But again, there is some very nice texturing to the molded hair. So the suiting is not a complete loss. The figure's not a complete loss. You just can't do anything else with them. But, say it again, you still may want to get this set. Why? Well, give me a second, and I will tell you why. Now, why did I say get this set? Frankly, I bought it for one reason, and one reason only, and you are looking at it. I did not get it for the suits because I've known by now that if I want to get nice 1/6 scale suits, I have to have somebody make them. I didn't get it for the sculpts, although I originally was kind of hoping that I could possibly use it as a Nick Fury. I can't, so I'm a little disappointed with that. But I got it for the safe. It is plastic, but it is highly detailed. It has a knob here. It cannot be turned, but it does seem to have the dial. It does open. And when you open it, you have hooks to hang something I've never seen before. This is a 1/6 scale flash drive or thumb drive. I have yet to see any 1/6 scale laptop or desktop, and there are a few out there, but I've yet to see one made that actually comes with a USB port. But in fact, here it is, the drive, which is kind of interesting because when Pulp Fiction came out, I didn't think we had flash drives yet. I may have to go back and look. There's also a little place here. I use it to put keys. I have no idea what these are keys to, but the keys are in different shapes. So if you like to have keys on a keychain, these usually go for like $10 to $15 when people sell them on eBay. So to have that as part of the set is really nice. And again, I haven't seen these, so that's a pretty nice get. You can see there are 2 drawers and the big basket drawer, which I will show you in a second. This set comes with a whole bunch of Benjamins. And the reason I think it comes with a whole bunch of Benjamins is because I do not think the diamonds are included in the set. I looked for them. I went through the box. The diamonds are not here. But again, whole bunch of Benjamins, American $100 bills. And these are, it's not like there's one on the top and one on the bottom, and then everything else is blank. These are legitimately stacks of 100s. And that in and of itself has a lot of resale value. It also comes with, and I will show you, a little journal, which I'm desperately trying to pull out of here and failing miserably in the attempt. This is a nice journal. It opens, it has a little flap like that. You open it up. It has a little, it's not really a note. I thought it was a real notepad. It's just this case, this is a blank. This is the blank. It's just a whiteboard glued on to a back of cardboard. Which honestly means that this is probably, when you put lemon juice on it, you'll be able to figure out the YouTube metrics for how you too can finally start making money off of your videos again. But I've seen photos of just the safe, and they usually put the journal in here and hang the keys up. The last detail, as I said, is the bucket down here. And you have this very nice touchpad that you're supposed to, the action figure should fit their fingers on there. The fingerprints match. This pops open and, oh, looky! Looky what we have here. We have fine gold. 999.9 grams of gold. They probably do come out, but I'm not gonna force it. And again, this lining does not come out, so the diamonds are not underneath. The diamonds are missing, ladies and gentlemen. Please take it upon yourself to find them. Now, what else does this come with? Some of my least favorite things on the planet. It comes with guns. And, of course, the extra clips. So here's one clip. And again, I'm trying not to force it. Here's one clip, and presumably, I'm not sure, I think this is the silencer for the handguns. At least it's supposed to be. Very overstated in every way. This is a much more stylized handgun. Though it could probably also take the silencer. I do like the gold details, if you can see them. Bring it a little closer. Some nice gold painting details. And you know, the traditional grooving. I mean, it looks like a gun should. And if you're hearing me sort of hesitating talking about this, it's getting harder to appreciate action figures with guns with everything going on in the States. And yet here I continue. This is the machine gun. It does have one movable part. It's this. Folds up. Folds down. I believe this is the silencer for this gun. Like so. Sorry, I had it backwards. This is it. Like so. There also appears to be, though I'm not sure where you would insert it or how, but extra ammunition. As you can see, that's supposed to be a bullet. And there's extra ammunition. And it's supposed to, I'm assuming it would go in the machine gun. I don't know where and I don't know how, so I'm not going to force it unless it's up here on top, which makes zero sense to me. Or maybe it slides in like this. But again, that would make zero sense to me if this is how it's supposed to slide in. No, I don't think so. So I'm not sure how these go together. As I said, and let's bring back in Mr. Travolta. Well, we don't need all of him. We just need his hands. So Mr. Travolta also gets to wear a gold bracelet if you were so inclined to put this on. I am not, but that would be his gold bracelet. Maybe it's a souvenir from the safe. He's also evidently a smoker. So, and this detail I kind of like. I'm gonna bring his hand here. And oops. I'm probably using the wrong hand to do this with, but there you go. He does come with a cigarette that has this really weird but cool at the same time smoke effect. If you notice that, it almost looks like the smoke is just coming off of his cigarette. Obviously, if they both want to be smoking, that's entirely allowed. And again, these are the extra hands for the Vincent / Travolta figure. His boxing, fighting hands, gun holding hands. And again, you'll notice very squared off, even if you look at the knuckles. It's very squared off. And this is again why I tell you it would be very, very hard if you wanted to customize these and use them for anything else but these figures. And oops. And these are Jules / Kier's fingers. Doesn't even get to, and again, still, and you can really see it here in the pointing what I'm talking about. It's a very stylized look. I'm not saying if you're into anime, that's probably the kind of look you want to get. But if you were looking to customize these and do something else, this ain't gonna get you anywhere. This does also come, which I thought was kind of cool, with a comic book. I've bought other Gangsters Kingdom figures before. I have not ever seen them coming with a comic book. So the fact that these did is kind of cool. And credit where credit is due to who is responsible. The illustrator is Zhu Wei Kong. The story is by Zhu Yang. And Yuan is in charge of the creative. So, as always, do you get these figures? So, here is my qualified, very qualified answer. I'm going to say this. And you guys can take this for what it is worth. I'm going to say, if you were going, that this is a set that can be easily parted out. And if you wanted it for certain things, like maybe you're not that picky about clothing when it comes to 1/6 scale male clothing, the suits are fine. The fact that they're lined, or at least the jackets are, says a lot about it. So if you wanted to get it and thought, hey, you know, those suits actually look kind of cool, go for that. Grab that. If you want to, if you know somebody who's an action figure collector and they were looking for guns, these are pieces you would definitely want to get. If you are, if you are somebody who can do customizing and you just needed a good base for Travolta and Jackson, very good base for Travolta, not the Jackson, not so much. Very good base for Travolta. And by the way, when I looked at it the right way, his eyes are blue. So all in all, and I'll be honest with you, all in all, this is a set you get if you're going to keep pieces and sell pieces. I'm keeping pieces of this. I told you I got it for the safe, and I got it for the accessories that go inside the safe. So if you want to keep it for that reason, go right ahead. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. If you are a fan of Pulp Fiction, and there are plenty of people who Live and Die by Quentin Tarantino, not a bad set to get, especially since it does come with the comic book. But would I recommend it for other reasons? Again, my final recommendation is get this set through your dealers on eBay if you can get it for a good price and you're pretty sure you're going to be able to piece it out. So you take that for what it's worth. There are great pieces in here that I know just off the top of my head. There are pieces here at least that you could get if you pieced it out $100 out of it, just selling them off on eBay or on other dealer site or on secondary sites. So I would say get it and know that there are pieces where you could make some of your money back if you don't want to keep everything. So for Jules and Vincent and Kerr, I'm Barbara, and I'm going to be returning to the land of fashion royalty and finally bringing you one of the new men, the Monarch. It's going to be Roman Perrin, and that's going to be a double review. We're going to do a straight review of Roman, and then Roman and a bunch of other people are going to come together, and we're going to talk about the difference in sizes between fashion royalty, Mattel, Fresh Boys, and some of the other action figures that are out there. So until then, it's Barbara. Take care, everybody, and enjoy June. Happy Pride. Bye.